Namaste everybody, Megan Campbell here and welcome to Yogini Yoga. I'm going to be guiding you through today a practice called what I call the half moon flow. Really good for that week before your full moon or your menstruation cycle when we tend to suffer from things like PMS. And research is showing that yoga can help us dull those effects of the psychological and even the physical effects of PMS, bloating, cravings, and those emotional mood swings that we might be feeling. So I highly encourage you to grab a block or some books if you don't have blocks at home, as well as a towel if you have one, or a bolster if that's available for you. So either way, those are what you'll need today. We're going to get started laying on our backs. And coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, so bringing the soles of your feet together, let your knees fall open and come down onto the ground. So if this is hard at all for your low back or for your knees, you want to put the blocks or books underneath them so that you have some support. We're going to take our hands and connect your index finger and thumb like a triangle with both hands and place it just below your navel, your belly button, so it's pointing towards the pubic bone. And close your eyes, take a couple of really deep breaths into your lower belly. So really what's going to happen here is when you're inhaling, you'll feel your fingers part slightly if you're breathing that low. And as you exhale, they'll come back together and touch. Breathing in and out through the nose. Nice calming pose. So often we're really busy in our lives and then this part shows up and we start to get cranky and irritable perhaps. And just taking a few moments to calm down and unwind is really important for stabilizing our emotional well-being as well as our hormones. So now with the help of your hands, bring your knees together. Draw your knees gently into the chest. And as you extend your arms out to the side, palms face up, exhale, let your knees fall over to the right. I highly suggest placing your towel, bolster, or block between your knees here. Again, this practice isn't going to be really challenging, but it is going to release a lot of the abdominal tension and tension that we might feel in our hips this time of month, like water retention. You're going to look wherever it's comfortable, so you can look up, you can look over to the left, just take another few deep belly breaths here, massaging some of the abdominal organs. And you can keep the towel in between or release it. Bring the knees back up as you inhale and exhale over to the other side. And just looking where it's comfortable, nice and relaxed, and feel your belly continue to move as you breathe here on this side. So they say now that about 80 to 90% of women suffer from PMS. And this is a much higher number than it used to be. And there's lots of different factors that play into PMS. Again, they can be physical, psychological, physiological, right? They happen on lots of different levels. So definitely inhaling, legs back up. As you exhale, just draw your knees into your chest, lift your forehead to your knees, a little squeeze. And you can roll to the side or rock up and find your way into downward dog. Now, if you suffer from a lot of headaches in PMS cycle, a really nice thing you can do here is place a block underneath your head, especially if on a day like today, that might be happening for you. So you place it on the highest level, and if it reaches, you let your head come down. This is really soothing for the brain and really relaxing, so the effort isn't as overwhelming perhaps, especially if you're new to yoga for this pose. a lot less strenuous, but nice to bring some fresh blood into the brain. So gentle inversion. You don't want to make it too hard again. You're going to remove the block and just place it off to the side for a moment. Step your right foot up between your hands. Turn the back heel down and start to slowly crawl up your right leg. And you want to keep your right knee over your right ankle. Start to square off your hips and chest and inhale your arms up, and as you exhale, find your way into Warrior Two. So one of the energies of yoga is called apana, and apana governs a downward movement of energy in the body. That's called a breath or a vayu. And apana governs that elimination as well as menstruation. Right? So you want to start to really cultivate and focus on that downward, earthy, grounded movements. Just getting the body prepared for the next cycle of the full moon. Then we'll inhale the right leg straight, press your hips way back, and as you exhale, float your right hand down to your right leg. If your block is handy, you have one. You don't have to stack books or anything that'll take too much time. Just use that under your hands. This is all about, and there's lots of levels, remember, this is all about just creating a little bit of space in the groin and the pelvic bowl, the hips, where we hold a lot of the tension, especially on the week leading up to our moon cycle. And the deep belly breaths are what help release some of that tension. So you want to make sure that you can always feel your belly moving, so not holding any of the abdominal organs or reproductive organs. You're going to look down, slowly inhale, come back up to stand. As you exhale, bring your right toes in, hands to your hips. Inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, bring your hands together with your chest still lifted and draw the shoulder blades together behind you to lift a little bit more. Another deep breath in to open the chest. And as you exhale, start to come down between the legs and bring the hands past the head towards the floor. Soften the knees if you need to. Again, if it's one of those days where you have a headache, feel free to place the block underneath your head and really focus on opening up through the chest. So this pose is going to help us open the chest, and we can hold a lot of tension or fluids, especially in the breast, and they start to get sore. So we're going to start to stretch out some of those muscles, and fluid of the lymph nodes is important here too. So we'll do something for that as well in a moment. So slowly start to rise up. Inhale, take your time because the head is lower than the heart. Exhale when you arrive and release the hands. Turn your left toes out. Inhale your arms up. Bend into your left knee. Exhale. You can stretch out the legs a little bit more if you need to. And the pelvic bowl really aligned heaven to earth here. So pubic bone drawing up, but without gripping the low belly. We want to really relax into these muscles so that we're not holding any tension in the abdominal and reproductive organs. And this way everything starts to function the way it's supposed to. So let go of your need to get into skinny jeans this week. Right? Just let that belly relax and wear some clothes that are really comfortable for you and that you feel good in. And so next, inhale, straighten your left leg. Press your hips way back, and as you exhale, bring your left hand down to a block or your shin or your thigh even. Really doesn't matter what the poses look like. You want to be in your body and start to create that space that you need for the body to function properly during this time, so that PMS symptoms start to dwindle. This is what we're looking for through the practice of yoga. The other thing you want to start to think about is reducing your caffeine intake and looking at your diet, because sometimes these factors can really exacerbate some of the symptoms that we experience this week. And so let's inhale, slowly come back up. And as you exhale, turn your left toes in, hands to your hips. Bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers your non-habit way. This time it's the other baby fingers in front. Inhale, lift the chest to the sky. Exhale, fold between your legs and start to bring your hands past your head. Again, if you need to, block underneath the head so that you're not experiencing any dizziness or nausea going upside down. But these gentle inversions are really important because they're slightly toning for the uterus, but more that they're bringing blood into the brain. And the brain is really the control center for hormone production and regulation. So you want to be constantly flushing the brain. Fresh blood, fresh oxygen. So very slowly inhale, rise up, taking your time, head is lower than heart. And exhale, release. Grab a hold of your block. You're going to place it directly in front of you on any level that you need. And keeping your feet where they are. If you can come all the way down and keep your spine straight, then I encourage you to do that. If not, use your block. Inhale, sweep your right arm up to the sky. And make sure your hips stay parallel here, but just twisting and continue to open through the chest. And when we bring the arms up, the lymph system has no natural pump for itself. So what I always do is just start to shake my wrist a little bit, and it kind of seems silly and looks silly. But shaking in Ayurveda, they say it removes all disease. And it also just helps some of that fluid. Right, so just move, shake a little bit. And then when we bring that hand down, it's going to start to run the fluid from the breast through the arms. We come back up to the other side, also opening thoracic spine. Right, so drawing shoulder blades together, a little shaking. Let's get some of that fluid moving. This can help relieve some of the tenderness in the breast. And then we'll bring that down. You'll toe heel your feet together so they're hip width apart. Bend into the knees, have a seat on the ground, and slide that block between your feet or your book so that you're not sitting on the earth. And this will help also with breast tenderness, cow face arms. So right hand comes to the back of the head, and you can either press on the elbow or take your left hand behind your back so you're touching fingers. So if you're not familiar, it would look like this. Right, but if you can't get your fingers, you can also use a tie or a strap if you have one and hold that. Or as I said, hold onto or press down onto the elbow. Draw the lower ribs in without tightening the lower belly. Take nice deep belly breaths. And then we'll switch sides. And if you have extra time in your day or you find yourself sitting at a desk perhaps, then this is a really great pose that you can do even then just to release some of the tension in the upper back, the shoulders, the chest. It doesn't have to be reserved only for the week of PMS. Think of your yoga practice like preventative medicine. So as always, our sequences are short and sweet, just getting the effects of the practice. So come forward, remove your block, have a seat on your bum, bring the soles of your feet together, and we don't want to bring the heels in too close. We also don't want them to be too far away. So we do want to feel this pose into the hips, nice grounded Apana Vayu pose where we feel rooted into the earth, most of our bodies in contact. We come forward, hinging from the hips, leading with the heart. When you feel your body stop, you start to roll forward and relax, and you can place the block, again, really great prop, or your books, underneath your head so you have that support on any level until your head eventually comes down and meets your feet. You take a few deep breaths into the pelvic bowl, and this is really focusing on that abdominal tension, the hip tension. So just breathing into what you feel. Slowly roll up with the help of your hands. Bring your knees together. If you're close to the top of your mat, just scoot your bum forward. Roll down onto your back and then take your block or books. Lift your hips off the ground and place your block underneath. It's a really low, mild level. Remember, it's not about making it really hard this week. We're starting to slow down, calm the body down, and really move into the energy of the moon cycle, right? And a full moon. So really heavy, really relaxed, really introspective. So we start to help the body do that by a more calming, relaxed practice. Of course, feel free to add in a couple of sun salutations up to 2 or 3 days before your your moon cycle, or add in any other back bends that you would like, as this helps to stretch some of the belly muscles, as well as release some of the tension there by stretching open, right? But not too vigorous, really cultivating that bog or feeling state of relaxing. This is another pose, supported bridge, that really is great for if you find yourself as your hormones are shifting, sometimes our sleep gets disturbed. It's also a really great pose to help with migraines and headaches again, and just to gently stretch open some of the tissues of the belly. So as the womb or the uterus starts to expand and our belly starts to expand a little bit, the tissues don't feel as constrictive. So there's more space for the organs to move and to find space. And perhaps that'll help bring some of the swelling down. So feel free to stay here if you're really, really, really comfortable and totally relaxed. Or you're going to lift off your blocks. So it'll be like half Shavasana. Or you can come into full Shavasana, spreading out the legs. Again, if you need blocks or bolsters under the knees because your low back feels a little vulnerable, feel free. Close the eyes. Turn your palms to face the sky. Relax the jaw and the tongue. Let your whole body begin to melt into the ground. Remember that Shavasana is that pose of ultimate surrender. Letting go, body, mind, and breath. And use this time to also surrender any negative feelings that you might have towards your body, any judgment you might have towards your mind or your emotions right now. Be reminded that the moon cycle is really a gift for women. At our full power, our heightened intuition, full creativity. So as you move into this cycle, just being open and receptive, going easy on yourself, and gentle. And stay here for as long as you can. Nice and relaxed. When, if you need to, and to slowly sit up, bring your hands together in front of the heart, and end your practice today with a dedication, a prayer, a mantra, a meditation that you really enjoy and makes you feel good inside and out. We'll see you again soon. Namaste.